Have you ever gone to a party where you didn't know anyone, so you felt super awkward and sort of stuck to a corner and started checking your phone? In those moments where we feel uncomfortable, we many times will resort to our phones as these types of digital security blankets, mindlessly scrolling through Instagram or pretending to text people. But does using our phones in these situations actually help us when we feel awkward? When we compulsively check our phones, are we missing out on real-life human connections that are right in front of us? Could our phone use actually affect how much we're enjoying these social experiences and our interactions with others? Welcome to the channel where I leverage my PhD in marketing to translate consumer behavior research into plain English in order to empower consumers to be more informed and to encourage marketers in the real world to better understand and truly serve their own consumers. So whether you already work in marketing, you're a student, or just someone who's curious about why we as consumers do what we do, I got you covered. In this video, I'm walking through some research on why we compulsively turn to our phones during uncomfortable social situations, even when they might seem to sabotage our enjoyment and connections with other people. We'll be diving into this research paper published in the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology, titled "Why Do People Turn to Smartphones During Social Interactions?" In this paper, the researchers wanted to understand why we turn to our phones during social hangouts, even when it might actually dampen the fun. So what do? They ran a study where they recruited participants who were complete strangers to each other. They asked one group of participants to lock their phones away, and they allowed a second group of participants to keep their phones with them. Each group then all hung out with each other in a room for 20 minutes. Every 5 minutes, the researchers checked in and asked the participants how much they were enjoying themselves and measured how much they were actually interacting with each other. So what happened? They found that people who had their phones with them interacted with each other less and said that they enjoyed themselves less at every time point. In fact, phones didn't seem to have any benefits at all, even during those awkward first few minutes. So using your phone to ease some of that awkwardness actually doesn't work. They also found that more participants who had their phones didn't interact with each other at all compared to those who put their phones away. So what's the takeaway? Why do we turn to our phones when we're hanging with other people? Apparently not because it eases awkwardness initially or enhances any sort of fun over time. Instead, this phone use seems to have just become a sort of habit, a private space that we retreat to when we feel uncomfortable, even though it doesn't actually make us feel any better. So what does this mean for us as consumers? Well, for us as these distracted, phone-attached consumers, these findings are kind of a wake-up call. They suggest that when we instinctively reach to scroll through our phones during these awkward pauses, we're not doing ourselves any favors. In fact, we're missing out on more interesting conversations and positive real-life social experiences. So next time you're tempted to check your notifications in the middle of a party or even mid-conversation, you might connect better with other people by challenging yourself to put away your phone. Put this research to the test. And what does this mean for marketers? This data that shows that consumers depend on phones in these uncomfortable moments despite the social costs really gives an opportunity for some impactful messaging. Brands have an opportunity here to support their consumers in redirecting their fixation on their phones into more fulfilling real-world social interaction. So what can they do? If they create content around balancing this digital dependence with real-life engagement, that could deeply resonate with consumers and strengthen the brand-consumer relationship. Brands that carve out a presence that's more aligned to healthy social media use and healthy phone use, and it helps to make space for human-to-human bonding, stands to earn some of that consumer loyalty. There you have it. We turn to our phones habitually and unconsciously rather because they provide any actual material relief or benefits in these socially uncomfortable situations. And as always, the reference of this paper is in the description if you have access to academic journals and want to read some more. Thanks for watching.